Cheney has been repeatedly a target of Trump and his allies after voting to impeach the former president following the Capitol breach on January 6th. She currently faces multiple primary challengers for her House seat. One of them is Chuck Gray, Republican Wyoming state representative, who joins us now live on the program. Chuck, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. So when it comes to representing Republicans in your state, in Wyoming, why do you believe that you're the better candidate than Congresswoman Cheney?
Well, we see time and time again that Liz Cheney, she doesn't represent us. She doesn't live here. And that lack of representation came to the forefront with the impeachment vote, which was really disgusting and unconscionable. President Trump, fiercely loyal to Wyoming, to our country, and this impeachment narrative that could have been come up with at Nancy Pelosi's Sunday party with her $24,000 refrigerator filled with ice cream. Liz Cheney was the first one in line to go along with that narrative, and the Democrats used it.
I'm taking it you're a Trump Republican, America First Republican, running on policies that would align with the former president there. Are you looking for a possible endorsement from Donald Trump when it comes to the race? Do you think that you've got the support to challenge Congresswoman Cheney?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Been involved in Wyoming politics for a long time and done a lot of work in the state legislature. And we're working on showing strength. I think that's who President Trump is I think, going to get behind, who has the strongest position with Wyoming voters. Fundraising. I encourage people to visit chuckforwyoming.com to learn more, chuckforwyoming.com. And we're really in a pivotal point in the campaign right now. And I am looking for President Trump's endorsement.
All right. Well, we'll, of course, wait and see. That endorsement tends to carry a tremendous weight when it comes to these races here, especially in the primary. But talk to me about your opponent a little bit. We're learning that Congresswoman Cheney raked in a record fundraising haul of $1.54 million, again, for her 2022 reelection campaign. This is, of course, despite how she chose to vote when it comes to impeachment of the former president. Talk to me about your fundraising efforts and whether or not you think that gives her an edge.
Well, we got in on March 4th and we reported the highest cash on hand of any challenger to Ms. Cheney. And so we're in a strong position. We're continuing in Q2 to fundraise. We're at a pivotal point. But I think that shows, too, how Liz Cheney doesn't represent us. That money comes from insider, D.C. establishment, donors that are profiting from this endless war policy that Cheney has put forward and that has defined the foreign policy of this insider group for 4 decades. And so that's who's funding Liz Cheney's campaign. It's not Wyomingites.
So Congresswoman Cheney didn't say she's running for 2024 presidential race, but she also didn't rule it out. So when I say Cheney 2024, what comes to mind for you?
Well, I don't think she'd get 0.5% in a presidential primary. I mean, basically who she's talking to at this point is a small group of the Republican Party. And as soon as they didn't get their way with President Trump winning the nomination, they abandoned the party. And that's the way they think. If it's not their small perspective, they're not going to participate and support who the Republican Party supports. So I don't think she would do very well in that process. But I think it shows her thinking is that she views Wyoming as a stepping stone in her twisted mind and sort of how she thinks about her future, that our state, the representation that she's supposed to be providing to our state is just a means to be a stepping stone for her.
All right. Very interesting. I also reading that you had recently worked on sort of the passage of the voter ID bill in your state as well, celebrating it. So clearly candidate representing election integrity or attempting to. Chuck Gray, we appreciate you taking the time and talking to us more about your campaign. He's running for Wyoming congressman. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You got it.